What if I told you that in the first years after Jesus, his followers didn't call themselves Christians? It's true. The movement he started was a small, devout group entirely within Judaism, known simply as the Way. So how did a sect of observant Jews, following a Jewish Messiah, become the foundation for a brand new world religion? Right after Jesus' death around 30 AD, his followers weren't trying to start a new religion. They were an apocalyptic Jewish sect. They called their path the Way, a name that was likely inspired by the prophet Isaiah's call to prepare the way of the Lord. This was all about transformation within Judaism, built on Jesus' teachings and his resurrection. They kept following Jewish law, going to the temple, and observing dietary customs. A key piece of their instruction for new members was a moral guide called the Two Ways, which laid out the way of life versus the way of death. This framework, adapted from existing Jewish sources, wasn't about abstract belief, but about a practical life of love, sharing, and humility. For the first several years, this was an exclusively Jewish movement. So what was the turning point? It all came down to the Gentile question. When non-Jews started getting interested, it kicked off a furious debate. Did a Gentile have to fully convert to Judaism, we're talking circumcision and all, to follow Jesus? It was a former persecutor of the movement, a Pharisee named Paul, who became the loudest voice arguing, no. He insisted that faith in Jesus was enough, a radical idea that created the first major break with mainstream Jewish practice. This argument eventually won out at the Council of Jerusalem around 48 to 50 AD, a pivotal moment that truly began the parting of the ways and shot the movement onto a whole new trajectory. So, if they weren't just Jews anymore, what were they? This new identity was forged in the bustling, multicultural city of Antioch. Here, a thriving community of both Jewish and Gentile followers started to get noticed. Outsiders, probably Romans, gave them a nickname, Christianoi, or followers of Christ. What started as a label given by others just stuck. And this new blended community was radical. It promoted a shocking level of equality across class and race, took care of the poor, and refused to worship the emperor, actions that made it both a threat to Roman order and incredibly appealing to the marginalized. Just like that, a tiny Jewish sect called the Way was on its path to becoming a distinct global faith. The journey from the Way to Christianity wasn't a sudden snap. It was a slow, complicated separation. It was driven by the world-changing decision to open the doors to non-Jews, which turned a small movement inside Judaism into a faith that would one day cover the globe.